For this trip, we are coming at you from Big Pine Key. Big Pine Key is located about an hour north of Key West and about 20 minutes south of Marathon. We are staying at Big Pine Key Fishing Lodge, which is located at mile marker 33. It is a very large campsite. There are 81 full hookup sites and about 72 rustic sites. The campgrounds are made out of this like compact beach sand and like a gravel or rock combination. It's very compact and surprisingly enough, pretty level. We did notice that over where the rustic camp area, it's being used for storage because we are here during the off season. There are sites along the canal as well as the ocean front, but a larger rig like ours is 35 feet. We weren't able to fit into any of those spots, but it's okay. We got like one row back from the ocean view and it's still spectacular, so I'm not complaining. As I mentioned, it is the off season, so the campgrounds have campsites that are pretty sporadic. Nobody's really on top of each other, which is really nice. Big Pine Key Fishing Lodge also offers some efficiency rooms towards the front of the campgrounds. Those are going for $159 a night, or the loft area is $199 a night. The campsites themselves for the full hookup are going to range between $79 and $86 a night, and for the rustic between $53 and $56 a night. The campgrounds are very well maintained. As I mentioned earlier, it's made out of this compact sand, and there's some sporadic trees throughout the campgrounds to provide some shading for you. The campgrounds also has a huge recreational area, and in the recreation room there are games, there are TVs, there are books, there's a pool table, a ping pong table. I saw some cornhole games, and there's even a shuffleboard on the exterior by the side, as well as some tables and chairs under a covering. Really nice area. You could easily have some guests and have a little setting there that would flow to the top. So on the roof is a pool. It also has some lawn chairs around the edging of it, and there is a covered area as well with some seating and some tables. It's a really nice area. The campgrounds also has a really nice washroom area. There are, at least on one side, is individual called family rooms. They're individual rooms. There's 5 of them, and in the room there's the toilet, the shower, and the sink, and it's all enclosed in one area. There's no like connecting windows or ventilation or anything like that, so they're very exclusive. The shower area is really big, and hot water. There's also a really nice laundry facility and a guest shop. The guest shop offers some fishing equipment if you should need it, some household items and food items in case you forgot anything, as well as some souvenirs and gifts that you might want to pick up along the way. This is a fishing lodge, so there's fishing going on all over the place here. There's a canal that runs along this side, and then of course you've got the ocean front. There are fishing stations that are laid out throughout along the water area. You can bring boats, you can rent boats. So no matter where you look, you're going to find somebody with a pole in the water. Our first day out, our adventures didn't quite pan out the way that we expected them to, mainly because we had intermittent showers and we're on a motorcycle. We ended up in a bit of a rain shower, got a little wet, but that's all right. Got back to the RV, and I'd say about 5 o'clock, we finally cleared up for sunny skies and decided that we wanted to take out for a nice dinner out. We ate at a lovely restaurant called Milagro Restaurant and Bar right here in Big Pine Key. They offered some Italian cuisine as well as a Mexican flair. We went the Mexican route. I started out with a red sangria that is made in-house. It was very tasty. And Dean had a draft beer. Dean had a traditional Caesar salad, and I had the Milagro salad, which was a mixed green salad with a honey chipotle dressing. It was very good. So for dinner, Dean had the burrito grande, which was stuffed with braised short rib meat. It had a very smoky flavor and all those delicious Mexican spices that you would expect. I had the beef shank pozole. I think I'm pronouncing that proper. And it's more of a soup, which I wasn't expecting, but was completely happy with. Oh yeah, and in it was hominy. I had never had hominy before. I guess it's tasted like a harder maize kind of thing. Anyway, it was delicious. You have to try it. We are going to the ferry because we're going to go to Pigeon Key. We missed the ferry boat ride, the very first one, by that much. And that's all right because it sent us out for brunch. And we ended up at the Stuffed Pig, and it was phenomenal. So they offer, right when you walk in on the board, it says they have the ultimate Bloody Mary. You better prove it. And they did. It was phenomenal. It was the ultimate. And for breakfast, Dean went for the banana nut bread French toast. Now I want you to think, you need to sink that in. All right, repeat it back. Banana nut bread French toast. It was all of that deliciousness. I opted for the savory route, and I had the lobster Benedict. Yeah. Because it's lobster and it's Benedict. Who wouldn't want to try that? It was delicious. So with his sweet and my savory dish, it opted for great sharing. Yes, sharing is caring, and it was phenomenal. I encourage you also to check out the Stuffed Pig, and that was in Marathon. So after getting stuffed at the Stuffed Pig, we took a ride out over to the Hyatt Marina, where we're gonna catch our ferry and go over to Pigeon Key. Took a little boat ride. It was about a 20-minute ride over to Pigeon Key, and we were greeted by Sandy. Sandy is going to be our hostess / tour guide. She took us to some chairs already seated underneath the original bridge, of the original 7-mile bridge, let me be more specific. And she gave us a whole history lesson, which was fantastic. I won't go into all that Sandy shared because I couldn't possibly do her justice. You have to check her out yourself. I assure you, her personality and her storytelling is phenomenal, and you have to meet her. But I'll give you a few items to walk away with. So the original 7-mile bridge was funded by a gentleman named Henry Flagler. During the original construction of the bridge, laborers lived right on Pigeon Key. That was during the early 1900s. Some of the original buildings still exist on Pigeon Key. They are currently used for campers who are studying marine biology to come and spend the summers, which is cool. There was also a hurricane in 1935 that pretty much devastated the island. They sent the train to go pick up the people, but they didn't get there in time. The train washed out, all the people washed out to sea. It was like 400 some odd people. Yeah, pretty sad. After that hurricane, Pigeon Key was sold back over to the United States government, and they started refurbishing the bridge, and then ended up several years later building the bridge that we use today. All right, so on day 3 of our Big Pine Key trip, we went to Bahia, right? Bahia. Bahia Honda National Park. to the Bahia Honda National Park. It is $5 for a motorcycle. I suspect around the same amount for a car, maybe $8. And we're expecting to pay $12 per person to jump on a boat and go out about 5 miles out to a reef to do some snorkeling. However, when we pull up to the gate, they tell us that the water was recently checked. There's a little bacteria outbreak. And if it's anything like what we experienced when we were in the Panhandle, basically, if you got any open wounds, you should stay out of the water in these situations. And my husband, yeah, he's always got wounds. So we had to stay out of the water. However, we did find out that there was a trolley tour that was going to take us on an adventure throughout the park and show us all the show us the 2 beaches. One in which was still closed due to Hurricane Irma, and the only way you were going to see it is to take on this little tour. So we took on a little tour. Are 2 beaches at Bahia Honda National Park. There is Calusa Beach, which is just adjacent to the bridge, and there is Sandspur Beach, which is just north of the entrance. So it was Sandspur Beach is the one that was closed due to Hurricane Irma washing out significant pieces of the island. So they're just kind of letting nature take over for right now, and then they'll reevaluate the situation in another year or 2. And there's lots to see and do, even if you're not allowed to be in the water. But if you're allowed to be in the water, there is boating, they offer paddle boards, they offer kayaks, the snorkeling tour I was telling you about, and the beaches are just beautiful. They're not too packed. You'll certainly find a place to sit. There's some nature trails and whatnot, which we went on, and we'll share pictures of that with you. So right now we are packing up. It is our last morning and we're heading home. We would have loved to have stayed longer, but we have more adventures in the future that we're going to share with you. So as a wrap up, I highly recommend you checking out Big Pine Key. Don't let it pass you by. In my opinion, it's centrally located, so it could serve as a jumping point to get to any of the other keys. Think about that one. Anyway, I highly recommend it. Come and check it out. Till next time, bye.